Hello and welcome to this interview with Luc Voncken, CEO of CLIQ Digital. This interview will be about the company's business model and equity story. So stay tuned for some valuable insights right from the one in the known. My name is Julia Stoetzel and I'm the founder of Junicorn Consulting as well as co-host of this podcast called Street Tweets. And I will guide you through this interview today. So let's get right into it.
Well, welcome, Julia. Thanks for inviting me for this interview. My name is Luc, and I'm born in the south of the Netherlands, at the borders of Germany and Belgium, more or less, at the Drielandenpunt. And I've studied in Amsterdam, banking and finance at the Free University here. And I'm one of the founding predecessors of CLIQ. And 20 years ago, I became active in the digital industry with, as a first project, Big Brother, where we were responsible for all the premium text messaging votings. We were one of the first ones in a big TV show introducing voting via SMS, via the old-fashioned Nokia phones. And then, after 3 years, we supplied more or less all the TV shows here in the Netherlands, but also in Germany, Belgium, and in the UK. And then we sold the company and started selling ringtones, all over the world, in Europe, in the United States of America, South America, but also Australia, Africa, the Middle East. And what I really liked and still like about the company is that it's really a combination of technology, but also marketing and sales. And we always sell subscriptions, so we are really experts in selling subscriptions online to global consumers. And if you look to CLIQ in the current situation, is it the result of several mergers, which gives me also a lot of experience in the area of mergers and acquisitions and integrating different companies into the company which we are currently right now. And I'm the CEO. And what I really like, and I like to inspire people. And really busy how we can be active on the different traffic sources worldwide.
Very interesting background. And indeed, I think as a CEO, it's very important to kind of stack your skills, right? You're not only good in marketing or not only good in digitalization, right? But you really stack your skills. A super interesting profile. And
I know, even good in finance. So that's also nice to mention.
Very cool. So first of all, let's maybe for our audience, get them a bit, fired up with a rapid fire round, I want to call it, to get to know your company a little bit better. And so I want to ask you to always just answer in a very short answers, maybe one or two words, just a few words on the next few questions. So one word to describe CLIQ's growth potential.
Significant, I would say.
Okay. The most exciting product and service CLIQ is currently offering.
The cloud games we have in our portals.
A milestone CLIQ has achieved and you're the most proud of.
I've got a lot of milestones, but I think one of the most important and proud milestones I can mention is that we have set up our own media buying team where we currently have more than 30 media buy experts on the different traffic sources like Google, Facebook, but also TikTok.
Wow, interesting. If CLIQ stock was a superhero, who would it be?
Well, that's easy. Captain America, because that's, of course, our biggest market within the CLIQ group.
Interesting. And a number or metric about CLIQ that you think will surprise our audience?
I'm proud that we are growing every year. And to give you an example, our KEGR is 41% on sales from 2019 until now.
Impressive. Very good. So maybe now that we have gotten those rapid fire rounds out of the way, and if someone is interested to hear more, maybe tell us a bit more about the CLIQ business model and how would you describe CLIQ in a nutshell?
Well, I can do that in 4 words. We are a global marketer of streaming. Our market is global. Our product is streaming. And we do that on a performance way. We are always focused on conversions. And theoretically, we could sell any product, but our product focus is always digital entertainment.
Okay. And how does the business model then exactly work? Maybe you can give us some insights on that as well.
Well, all our services and revenues coming from subscription-based services. That's a portal where we have a combination of 5 different content verticals with movies, series, music, sports, games, and more content in it. We market it always global, and currently, we operate in more than 40 countries worldwide, but I really don't think in countries. I always think in continents: Europe, North America, South America. And we are really experts in sparking the interest of the online consumers for digital goods.
You mentioned a couple of times that marketing is one of your strong footholds. So what's really your marketing approach at CLIQ?
Well, the customer is not always finding us, but we are finding the customer, you know, with the help of advertising platforms like Google, Meta, and TikTok. And to give you an example how that works, for example, if we have movies about sharks, then in the Google system we can give that interest, into the Google system, and then the algorithms are finding all the inventory of people on those websites who are interested in sharks, and then in that way our media buy experts are finding the customers, put the banners around shark movies in it, and then lead them via our consumer and customer journey towards our multi-content subscription services.
Interesting. I really think that if you know how to manage media, it's a super powerful skill that any company should have these days.
Yes, and that's key, I think, within CLIQ.
Yeah, very good. What would you say? How would you describe the CLIQ customer in a nutshell?
Yeah, well, when I travel a lot for CLIQ because we are active, of course, all over the world. And then I also use taxis, of course, a lot. And the taxi driver is really for me a CLIQ customer. I always ask the taxi driver, okay, how are you consuming and experiencing streaming in your country? And then he says, oh, I'm sharing the login of Netflix with my neighbor, with my nephew. I have a sports subscription. And that's really what inspires me. It's a hardworking person. It's the mass market, and they are always looking for value attractive offers. And they appreciate also convenience, simplicity, and therefore I also mentioned cloud games, because if you look to the different setups of games, you have to play them on different devices. But with cloud games, you only need to have an internet connection. That's the simplicity I always like to offer. That it's easy to use, and also the combination of 5 content categories into one product, makes it a very convenient product with a good value pricing on in that perspective.
Interesting. Yeah, it's always good that products are convenient to use, very simple to use, and that you also consistently, although you're so long already in the business, trying to get to know your customers, right? By consistently doing this market research in the taxis or so. How do you find your customers then?
Well, I told it already a little bit, but I gave example for Google, for example, with the shark movies, but also other ad platforms. We place our ad banners on all type of websites, and but it's always online mostly, because those platforms really can give us the opportunity also to track everything, from banner to stream. I always say at CLIQ, it starts with a click and it ends with a stream. And we buy impressions, eyeballs. So 2 eyes, looking on the internet for specific context. And then if you look to Google Display, that's the most important traffic source for us. That are those banners within the right corner, that triangle and cross. There we give, there our banners are mostly positioned. And there is where also the customer journey starts. We are always looking there for new traffic sources. I always say to my people, we need to be there where the mass market is at that moment of time. We started in the past with TV, then we went to the old-fashioned TVs, with Facebook and even Hotmail and Messenger on Microsoft. And if you look now from the perspective, TikTok is of course a fast-growing channel to be there. And the marketing spend we are spending on those channels is really the fuel of the company, that is the oil, that's the machine, and to give you a ballpark, this year we expect, to have 120 million spent, marketing spend, to get access, on the different platforms to the eyeballs of our future customers.
Yeah, very relevant. It's always good to be there where your audience is and also continuously develop, right, with your audience and
Yeah.
not just get stuck in, one channel that is not performing anymore or something. So maybe for those who don't really know how it exactly works, but how do you, or better to say Google, find your customers exactly? Maybe you can go a bit more deep into that specific field.
Yeah. Now, yeah, Google, of course, has a lot of data all over the world with cookies, algorithms, and now, yeah, the new word on earth, artificial intelligence, let's say it that way. And all those platforms are performing also there. But also we have, of course, a lot of data about, yeah, of 20 years experience, of course. And yeah, I give already the shark movie. You really can specifically target on specific audiences, male, female, are they on a mobile or are they on a PC? So it's really an auction. You can compare it, yeah, you are bidding on eyeballs, competing and bidding with other competitors in the field. But competitors are not really, the Netflix or the Spotify, which people maybe should expect. But it can be also, for example, an Uber Eats or an e-commerce platform like Zalando, for example, in Germany. And so that's the way it works. It's really we are bidding on inventory, on clicks, and on views.
Interesting. That was a very good explanation. So you mentioned Google a couple of times. It must be a quite important partner to you then, right?
Yeah, it is, and we have our account team is in Dublin. That's the headquarter of Google worldwide, and yeah, we have a really good team from Google to our availability with a lot of experts also on their side, with experts on display, but also we are starting now keyword buying. So the starting point is not a banner, but people typing in just keywords on the Google keyword buying expert. But we are also connected with Bing. It's also a big search engine, and 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 we are always looking, for new eyeballs on the different platforms. So also, yeah, TikTok I already mentioned, and of course Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, very interesting. Let's go back a bit to the customer point of view. So what makes your services so convenient?
Well, I think what it makes really convenient is that we have really 5 content categories in one product. That's really unique. That users have with one subscription, one paying subscription, access to movies, series, music, games, audiobooks, and sports. And easy to use for the whole family. And yeah, to be honest, when we introduced that multi-content approach 4 to 5 years ago, then that was really, I think, also really a key decision in the company and for the future we are now going forward. Because currently more than 90% of our total sales are coming from bundled content services, and they deliver really value for money, appealing to the mass market. But on the other hand, it gives us also internally a lot of flexibility to the marketing and salespeople internally, because with one service they can target different interests, because you are offering movies, games, sports. Each category has also a different consumer group and appealing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you sell any other services than that?
Well, our originating state was, of course, on mobile. So we did a lot of business with mobile carriers, still doing that. But mobile carriers always wanted to have only a single content service. So from the past, we offered also a lot of single content services like games, mostly on the mobile phones. So from that perspective, we still have, if I look to this year, we are doing still 20 million euros revenue on sales on the single content services, mostly with the mobile carriers. But our main focus also with the mobile carriers going forward will be bundled content, because we see really the appealing approach there and the value for money approach.
Got it. So how does your product portfolio look like at the moment?
Uh, yeah, I'm repeating a little bit myself, but we only sell one product, and that's a bundled content service. That's really our core business, with movie series, those 5 categories in it, and then all dynamically priced. Because I think that's also good to mention, that if we start a new country, we always offer them the bundled content services. and then we start testing 3 or 4 price points, and based on after 2-3 weeks, we see which price points give us the best balanced situation, from a profitability perspective, but also from a conversion perspective.
Right. You mentioned dynamically priced, so that means that you have these different price points and you're always trying to find the right one for each customer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's more or less a demand-driven selling price. You can compare it, with what the airlines are also doing. Every day, if you are looking for a ticket, yeah, you have a different price more or less for the ticket. But that doesn't mean that we change the price every day, to be honest. But especially in the beginning of starting a market, we are testing different price points.
So if the bundled streaming services are your backbone, your cash cow, so to say, why did you launch CLIQ.de?
Well, CLIQ.de is also just a bundled content service, So it's the same as what we sell everywhere, because at the end, our customers all over the world have access to those 5 content categories in our bundled content service. And CLIQ.de is a brand in Germany, which we launched there because it's the biggest economy in Europe, and it's also a difficult market, but also there because the value for money proposition, because the German audience is really an audience which is always looking for discounts, Vorteile, Rabatt, a lot of content, best of alles für kleines Geld, that's really what Germany is. And CLIQ.de has really the rich experience, and in that way, we could also test new traffic sources. We tested 10 different traffic sources. And what we found out, which is, of course, not really surprisingly, is that TikTok, Meta, but also B2B partnerships, partnerships with Cola Pizza, but also with the Lidl, with the New Yorker fashion store right now. That is really bringing us the sales in combination also with affiliated marketing, with cashback sites, loyalty programs, but also voucher websites. We are doing really good sales.
Nice. So what concrete content can a subscriber expect for, I think the price was €6.99, right? Euros?
Correct, yeah. So I always say, at CLIQ, we sell cola, but not Coca-Cola, So don't expect movies of half a year old, because that's not what CLIQ is, At CLIQ, we have a really nice content library. If you look, for example, to movies and series, we have more than 2,000 movies and series in it. On the music side, we have more than 100 music stations, playlists, because at the end, most people just want to have a playlist when they want to listen to music. We have nice music concerts, but also karaoke for the whole family. And if you look to sports, I really dare to say that we are a home of sports in Germany, because we have more than 100 different sports on CLIQ.de with a lot of live coverages of different leagues. And on the audiobook side, we have more than 200,000 audiobooks, also in the German language. And on the cloud games and browser and PC games, we have more than 4,000 great titles, with a lot of different game publishers. It's all licensed because we don't produce, because that's too risky and far too expensive. That's for the other ones, because there is so much content on the world. So that's never the problem. There is so much content, and all content publishers want to do business with CLIQ. But also always with a localized focus, especially in Europe. In Italy, you need to have Italian movies. In Germany, Germans. In France. Therefore, the US is so easy, because you have access to 360 million people in one language. Yeah, maybe you have to offer some Spanish content, but then you have already a big reach, But in Germany, we have, for example, also Schlager music, ZDF, series, etc. That's the local touch we always like to bring.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of content that you can access through the subscription.
Too much.
Exactly, too much to listen to everything or to watch everything. But so what I understand now from this part of the interview is that CLIQ, in essence, is not really a streamer or like a true streamer or streaming provider, but it's really more like you're just more like an excellent marketer, right?
No, Julia, that's right. We are a global marketer of streaming. That's what we are.
Okay, got it. So why would you say the market hasn't really understood that yet? And why do you think it is currently undervalued in its expertise? What do you think?
Yeah, that's of course not up to me to say something about it, but yeah, the only thing I can do is spread the news that CLIQ is the global marketeer of streaming and not a streaming provider. So don't compare me with Netflix or Spotify, please. Don't do that. We are a marketeer of streaming. Ours not easy to understand business model, maybe especially for European investors, because I see if we look to the US investor side, they typically understand more the direct response and performance marketing model. Because okay, that's maybe the character set of between an European and an US investor, maybe. Despite being listed in Germany, our main business is not generated in Germany. The listing in Germany that happened because of the merger with a previous company in Germany, but we never look to a specific country. It is always Europe or the US. Yeah, and as already told, the US is our biggest market, and our focus is always on conversions, not on awareness. And that's maybe also a little bit the problem, because investors are looking for awareness. What is your brand? What is your URL? Yeah, then I say, yeah, we have different URLs, and to be honest, there is not really a real listed pair, especially not on the German stock market, where you can compare us with.
Right. That would have been actually my next question, because investors typically, and analysts by that matter as well, they always want to have like a peer group, right, to compare you to. How would you help them if you say there is not that one peer that is really doing what you are doing in a similar fashion?
By explaining our stories, and tell them our economics, because they are really compelling. All our customers, members we get in always generate a gross margin in the first 6 months. Because that's we only accept customers to subscribe to CLIQ when we think that they can be profitable in 6 months. Which makes us really quite unique. We never have a loss-making customer in CLIQ. And because that's the way we are set up, that's the way our media buyers target on their inventory to have a specific target cost per acquisition for a new customer in relation to the average revenue per user. And but on the other side, we are also direct marketeers, so we spark the interest of the online consumer, which also explains the high churn, because at CLIQ there is always a free trial in the model. So we say always, just try the product. If you like it, you stay. If you don't like it, you go. And that churn is already in the business model calculated. To get a profitable business case, you can compare us with a restaurant. We are not a fine dining restaurant. We are more a fast food restaurant, where the tables are filled 5 days a day, 5 times a day. Let's say it that way. But yeah, so that's the way you can look at CLIQ. So we are always online competing for eyeballs, and there is where our competitors are. And I gave already some examples that can be an Uber Eats or an e-commerce portal, but it can also be people who are looking for all kinds of things on the internet. In daily life, people are looking for everything, and that's also and that gives us, I think, a unique position in the market, which is also reflecting, of course, in our compelling outlook we have within the company.
So Luc, can you tell us how much revenue you are actually currently making at CLIQ?
Well, last year we generated more than €250 million in sales. And this year, for 2023, we expect revenues to exceed the 345 million.
Okay. And you said that you are profitable. So how much exactly in EBITDA are you generating last year?
Yes, I told you already, all our customers we acquire are profitable. So also the revenues and the profits are getting in. So yes, we are a very profitable company already since the start. And in the last 4 years, our average EBITDA margin was 15%. And in 2022, it was even 16%. But we are always aiming for an EBITDA margin of 50% or higher.
Interesting. So we talked now a little bit about the past, what you achieved last year in terms of financials, but also in terms of your business model. Let's talk a bit about the future, because the future is obviously everything that investors mainly look at when they do take potentially an investment decision. What's your game plan going forward, and how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve to achieve, your ambitious revenue targets, I think of 500 million euros by the end of
Yes,
2025?
at the end of 2025, correct.
What do you want to put into action? What are the action plan that you have in your mind?
Well, first of all, I think everybody needs to trust based on our track record because I'm already 20 years active in the digital industry. I sold a lot of digital content, from the joke of the day, keeps a smile on your way, to the Billboard Top 100 on your mobile, and now with the multi-content services, all over the world. So we have shown and we have proven the ability that we can change, we can evolve and grow, and timing is very important. You always need to be there on the right moment, and that's where we are good in. You don't have to be the first one in something. Following is also good, but then being there on the right time with the right team, that's key, and that's what we have proven already for 20 years. And our business model is also highly scalable. If something works in Europe, then it also works in the US, especially in our area. So it's scalable. We can launch a lot of new countries or continents even without stepping away from our offices here in Amsterdam or Düsseldorf or Paris or London. Because we also, since start, we have 37 different nationalities. So all the flavor of the global market is in the company, and they give us a lot of inspiration and, also the right touch, which message you need to give in each country. That's really important. So we have really a great team. And then the growth in our business is always very easy, always looking for new square meters on the global market, countries. So opening new countries besides Europe and North America. I think it's also clear, new traffic sources bring us also new consumer groups with different interests and looking for different benefits. So where the mass market is, of course, new content. I think a good example is now artificial intelligence. You have really great AI products in the market, not only for making a Word document easier, but we are looking to entertainment, AI-driven products, where you can morph your own picture, into the new movie poster, or or be on the cover of one of the biggest magazines. Just that funny moment, that one moment of fame, that one entertainment part. So in content. On IE, I also expect a lot of new customers in. And of course, great partnerships, which were proven already also in Germany, with the Lidl, with the New Yorker, with Cola Pizza. And that's really nice to see that a lot of brands want to do business with CLIQ.
So it seems to me that you do have an action plan in place to get to the revenue target of 500 million euros by 2025, as you indicated. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the factors that have influenced CLIQ's share price development in the past months, and what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, Julia, for me, it's hard to understand, and really a brain cracker, but maybe it becomes of the weak macroeconomic environment currently, especially in Europe, and also many listed European TMT companies, have come under pressure this year. And but if I talk about myself, we really made significant progress in addressing the market concerns, and will continue, of course, to do so. By having talks with the investor community. Also, our ER department is doing a lot of work on that. We provide always on time comprehensive financial reports on a quarterly basis, which even exceeds the scale listing requirements. And we deliver also time and again a strong financial performance. And we will do that. We did it in the past and we will do it in the future. And we also pay dividends. So what do you like more?
That sounds great. Maybe let's dive into that one actually, because you said earlier that you are obviously a high growth company. You had a CAGR of, I think, 41% in sales, right?
Yeah.
Yet you're paying dividends, which is quite rare. Can you give us some background on that?
Well, if you look to our model, that's always based on cash generation. Already since the start 20 years ago, we were always focused on cash flow generation. And that's what we still do. That's the DNA of the company. And with our model in place, we are also able to generate significant free cash flow. And we were always able, even in the growing stage, also to pay our debts, and currently I'm really proud on the fact that we are debt free. And every year we closely review, of course, our dividend policies, but in the last 4 years, we distributed more than 40% of net profit, and without influencing our sales growth path.
Well, very rare. Usually you have either high growth, no dividends, especially the tech sector where I'm quite familiar with, or you have like not so high growth and then dividends. So very interesting that you cater to both. What are your thoughts on a share buyback program?
Well, if you look to share back every year, we have, of course, that type of discussions, but management continuously, reviews all the possibilities, to get all kind of value creative capital allocation options in place. Till now, we said, okay, the dividend is the way to go, and that's furthermore, it will also reduce already small market cap and liquidity, in my opinion.
Okay, interesting. So maybe we dive a little bit more into your investor communication and how do you best communicate with your investors?
Now, of course, we have a great ER team in place, which is always very active. We have a lot of interesting information, I would say, on our ER website, where you can find all the information about the company and also a lot of information about the business modeling. There's even, I would recommend, there is a movie of the consumer journey on the website. So I would advise to everybody, go please to the ER section of our website. We are doing always new initiatives, and of course we visit a lot of shows. For example, the last period we visited more than 20 investor shows. We have quite a lot of number of new US investors in place. We are intensifying, our efforts to explain our business model, of course, in more detail. Now, as I already told you, this interview is also a way to go. And we are always trying to expand our communication channels to tell the great CLIQ story.
And I have to say, as I was doing obviously research on you, I really like the way that your website is structured, and you already have a lot of interactive elements on it, like videos, and like little charts and so, and you're already doing a really good job. And I like that you're also now engaging in these kind of interviews to kind of explain the story even better to a new audience, what you're also doing within your business model, right? Trying to go to new channels and so I think it's great efforts. So you mentioned that you want to reach more Gen Z investors, and they're obviously renowned for their commitment to sustainability and ESG matters, right? And it's obviously a very important matter in general. And you've also set yourself ambitious goals to achieve carbon neutrality by the end of 2029. So can you walk us a little bit through the steps that CLIQ Digital is taking to offset or eliminate CO2 emissions?
Yeah, well, it's indeed a very important topic. Of course, I see it also internally within CLIQ, environment, all those elements are very important to stipulate to everybody, but also for the investor side. So we have introduced very sustainable practices in place, such as sourcing, sustainable goods and promoting eco-friendly initiatives. And we also started now a group-wide sustainability project, that will take place at the end of this year, or at the end of this year, and also in 2024, which was helping us, to reduce our carbon footprint in general. It's really an integrated approach where we also take everybody within CLIQ with us, in that type of in this project.
Yeah, I think it's also important to get the whole company involved, right? It's not just something that comes from the top, but really everyone.
Yeah, and they really like it.
Yeah. And look at your background, right? You're really living and breathing green in that sense. So how do you ensure your content quality and variety is engaged enough for the Gen Z? Because they obviously have a much shorter attention span. Gen Z is having like also slightly different preferences in the content they're consuming? How do you ensure that this is kind of up to date to their desires?
Well, basically, we have something for everyone. So in each to 5 content verticals, we are connected with a lot of content suppliers. So via APIs, that's a technical term, of course, we have more or less direct access to their content, and so we have a lot of different suppliers. So there is always, via those different suppliers, in each content vertical, we have more than 5 to 10 different suppliers worldwide, with country rights, but also global rights. So we always have something for everybody. That's also the slogan in Germany: "Best of alles." Best, a lot content für kleines Geld. So we have films for all kind of genres, but music for in all kind of moods, and tastes. Concerts, karaoke for the die-hard fans. When you are sitting with your family after dinner to do some karaoke. If you are in the train, to listen an audiobook for all ages, from kids to for female-oriented or male-oriented audiobooks, and of course a lot of sports and games availability. And also nice, now in October we also launched Like Us in Germany, which is more or less Big Brother, but now in the current with a modern flavor. So with a lot of influencers in the house. And this is also a very interesting project and test for us, to see how that works on TikTok, where also the stars in Like Us, also promote the product on their channels on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And of course, we are also very active ourselves on the socials.
So you definitely seem to have a game plan on how to tackle the next generation of customers, but also of investors.
Yes, we are already there. So
very good. So I definitely learned a lot on your business model, on the stock, on your equity story. And now to round it up from your mouth, with your words, why would someone invest? Why should someone invest in your stock?
Well, first of all, everybody should do his or her own research, of course, and then take the investment decision. But in a nutshell, I would say, if you invest in CLIQ, you get access to a profitable growth company in a business which will continue growing. We are a real cash machine, and we pay every year dividends. But most of all, the product we have, and as a global marketer of streaming, it's also cool, to be a marketer of a cool product. We are a likable product. People like to talk about when they are with friends and having a drink at the bar, and every day when I walk to the office, I really like to walk to CLIQ, to the office, because we have a great team of 37 different nationalities. We have an international workforce. The market is global, and that's what I like. And who does not want to be part of that unique business model, I would say, of that unique team.
I can definitely see how passionate you are about the business.
Yes,
it's very nice to see.
Sure.
A lot of entrepreneurial spirit that I saw in this interview. Luc, thank you so much for this interview. It was very insightful. I learned a lot, and I'm sure our audience did as well. And I hope to see you soon again in another interview.
Yeah. See you soon, Julia. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.